Won while playing games. I accidentally turned on the mic when I met a gaming god. As a voice control enthusiast, I was instantly smitten. I said, "Anyway, you live for 30,000 days. What's wrong with letting me play for one day?" The god replied, "Which school are you from?" I said proudly, "University A." The god said, "I mean which major?" Me. After the start of school, when I saw the young and handsome professor on the podium, my eyelids twitched wildly. No way. Why does this man's voice sound so familiar? After suffering 5 consecutive defeats in the game, I finally matched with a god who saved me from the dire straits. I was extremely grateful and sycophantic, striving to serve the god well and let him help me level up. Unfortunately, the god was aloof. After I chattered nonstop for half an hour, he finally replied, "I have classes tomorrow. I'm leaving." The man's deep and cool voice came from the earphones, and my heart instantly felt numb. No one knew that I was a voice control enthusiast. This voice was simply deadly to me. Wait. How could I let this person go just like that? God. Please save me. Can we play one more game? The god remained unmoved. "I'm a bit busy. Find someone else." Seeing that he was really about to leave, I blurted out without thinking, "Anyway, you live for 30,000 days. What's wrong with letting me play for one day?" After a brief silence, the earphones were filled with the cheers of my mediocre friends. Damn, bro. Since the little girl said so, just give it to her. It has to be said that the top students of University A really know how to do it. I scratched my head and wanted to explain. But then I heard the god suddenly ask, "Which school are you from?" Compared to my mediocre level, this might be the only advantage I can show off. I chuckled. "University A." The god said, "I mean which major?" Still don't believe me? I promptly reported my major. Finance major. Class of 2022. The god gave an ambiguous and then really stayed for another half an hour. After the game, I secretly added his friend, and he agreed. I was pleasantly surprised. Unexpectedly. The god is so approachable. My roommate and best friend Jenny shook her head and said, "Through the internet. How do you know if the person on the other side is a human or a dog?" I say, "Campus beauty ye. There are so many boys chasing you at school. In the end, you want to have an online relationship?" I sighed. The revolution has not yet succeeded. Comrades still need to work hard. The god is very nice to me, but there always seems to be a layer between us. But it doesn't matter. After a month of effort, the god has agreed to meet. I'm excited again. He said he wants to come and see our school if he has the chance. Jenny was unimpressed and handed over her phone. "You won't be able to laugh if it turns out to be a disappointment. Instead of spending time on this, why not take a look at the youngest professor who just joined our school? Super handsome. The confession wall is exploding. And tomorrow's advanced mathematics class is his." I casually pushed it away. "No. You don't understand. That man's voice really has me completely under his control." To the next day in class. Looking at the tall and straight figure walking in wearing a white shirt and black pants, the girls in the classroom were already faintly excited. Jenny secretly pinched me. "Look. So handsome." I was thinking that the god hadn't sent me a message today, and wasn't interested in her words. However, the next second, when I heard the man's voice ring out, I froze. "Hello everyone. I am Mevin." I slowly raised my head, and a strikingly handsome face came into view. He seemed to sense something and looked over with his calm and deep eyes. My eyelids twitched. No way. Why does this man's voice sound so familiar? I immediately looked away. My mind in a mess. Impossible, right? A professor? Can play games? And is willing to play with a noob like me? I couldn't help but secretly look up again. The man on the podium had already lowered his head and opened the roster. His black tousled hair fell down, and the line from his brow bone to his nose was perfectly smooth. He exuded an air of unattainable coldness and abstinence. No, no. Although the god is taciturn, he is still willing to help others and is very approachable. There are people with similar voices in this world. What's so strange about it? Luna. In the quiet large classroom, the man's deep voice came. My ears instantly tingled, and I reflexively replied. Here. Evan looked over again. In the moment our eyes met, he seemed to narrow his eyes slightly. Your student number is first. You will be the class representative. Is there a problem? He said in a calm voice. Sometimes I really hate my own weakness. As soon as I hear this voice, my mind goes blank. Okay. Evan. Evan paused as he closed the roster. His slender fingers tapped twice. Deep in thought. Jenny pinched me. I finally came to my senses. After sitting down, I wanted to pound the table in frustration. Why did I agree? How can I skip class in the future? Jenny's eyes were as bright as 500-watt light bulbs. Best IE. You're so awesome. Now you can be with Evan day and night. Me. It's just a class representative. Purely doing odd jobs. What's there to envy? I listlessly opened the green-covered advanced mathematics book, and looked at the strings of letters and symbols. Feeling even more aggrieved. Jenny didn't care. You got in with the top score in the entrance exam. This is called strength. A cultured beauty like you is very precious. You know. Is it? Isn't there one on the podium? I couldn't help but think of Jenny's ramblings before class. Evan, a teenage prodigy who was admitted to university at the age of 16, has already become the youngest professor hired by University A at a young age. I was absence maid throughout the class. Fortunately, this was the first class, and as the class representative, I didn't have any tasks yet. As soon as the class ended, I ran out. But just as I reached the back door, someone called out, Luna. I subconsciously turned around. Evan? He looked at me and seemed to want to say something. You? Luna? A boy suddenly blocked in front of me, holding a bouquet of roses in his hand, with enthusiasm on his sunny and handsome face. He said, I am Lewis from the Physical Education Institute. I have liked you for a long time. Can I add you on WeChat? For a moment, everyone looked over and started to cheer. Damn. Physical Education Institute? So direct? I frowned. Although I have no impression of his face. The name Lewis is very famous in school. He is a rich second generation. He changes girlfriends frequently and is a well-known playboy. Seeing that he seemed determined to succeed, I directly said, Sorry. I already have a boyfriend. Lewis was stunned. What? I like my boyfriend very much. I emphasized. Under the eyes of everyone, he couldn't hold back his face and left embarrassed lie. The onlookers were still unsatisfied. I looked at Evan again. Evan, did you look for me for something just now? Evan paused. Nothing. After saying that, he walked away with long strides. Back in the dormitory, I logged in again. After waiting for a long time, the master finally appeared. I was aggrieved. Are single dogs like us destined to wait? My naughty little friend kindly reminded. Sister who drinks coconut water and lists weights. Don't lower our level. Only you don't have a partner here. I was indignant. There is also the master. He is also single. The little friend chuckled. If you want to get out of being single, why don't you and the master date each other? My heart skipped a beat. After secretly having a crush for more than a month, anyone can see that I like him, right? I was anxiously waiting for the master's answer, but unexpectedly the dormitory door was suddenly pushed open heavily. Bang! I reflexively took off my headphones, exited the game, and turned my head to see my roommate Stella walking in with an unhappy expression. Slap! She threw her LV bag on the table. Stella, don't be angry. If you break your own bag, it's still you who will feel heartbroken. TNCC, who came in with her, is her follower. She always obeys Stella. The two of them are not in the same major as us. Since the beginning of school, we haven't had much contact. Stella said inferiorly. It's only 20,000 yuan. What's there to feel heartbroken about? She is the campus belle of the foreign language department, and a famous rich and beautiful girl. I was about to close my computer and go out to eat when I heard Stella speaking sarcastically. I am always wasteful with things. Unlike some people, a canvas bag can be used for several years. Very thrifty. I looked back and asked calmly. Stella, did I offend you somewhere? I usually carry a sunflower canvas bag. If I still can't tell that this is targeting me, then I really don't need to hang out anymore. Stella gave an innocent smile. What? I was clearly praising you. TNCC curled her lips. Boys just like this kind of girl. Stella, I told you long ago that you look too expensive. How dare ordinary boys approach you? You should really learn from others. I was amused and angry. Sure enough. It's because of Louis. I heard that Stella likes him quite a bit. She even specially gave him water and cheered for him during the basketball game before. Everyone thought that she should be Louis' new girlfriend. Unexpectedly, they are not together yet. And because of Louis' confession today, I suffered an unjust disaster. I have no interest in getting involved in your business. Moreover, I have a boyfriend. You don't need to waste your time on me. Stella let out a soft sneer. Boyfriend? Why haven't I heard you mention it before? TNCC mocked. Her boyfriend is like Schrödinger's cat. Sometimes it exists when she wants it to. And sometimes it doesn't exist when she doesn't want it to. I was about to speak when a deep and clear male voice suddenly rang out. Sorry. I've been very busy recently. So I haven't been able to accompany her well. I was stunned. Stella and TNCC were also stunned. This is a girls' dormitory. Then this voice. I was shocked and turned around. Only then did I realize that I had just pulled off my headphones but hadn't exited the game. That is to say, the master heard all those words just now. In a dead silence. The master spoke again. His voice was lowered, inexplicably showing a bit of tenderness. Let's go eat first. Don't be angry about unworthy little things. Damn. This man really has something. Jenny clicked her tongue. At the critical moment. He knows to stand up for you. And it's such a fatal move. It's such a pity that I wasn't there. I really want to see the expressions on their faces. It must be very wonderful. I nodded vigorously. Now you know why I like him. Right? For men, looks are the least important. Self-cultivation and inner qualities are the key points. Actually, I was just talking nonsense. I am just a superficial voice control. When I liked him, I didn't even think about what kind of person he is. But now, the master gave me face, making me seem to have good taste. Jenny asked curiously, so what's next? Are you really going to meet in person? I coughed. Well, he helped me. It's only right for me to treat him to a meal. Although it's fake now. But maybe, after dating for a long time, he will really be mine? What are you thinking so much about? Just ask him out directly. Jenny started to encourage me. I was also a bit tempted. I took out my phone. Then I'll send him a message and ask if he is free. After all, it's the first time inviting a member of the opposite sex out. After typing for a long time, I finally managed to send a message. Master, we only have one class tomorrow. Do you want to come to our school and have a look? The food in our cafeteria is not bad. After 5 minutes, the screen lit up. Okay. Damn. He actually agreed so directly. I immediately jumped up from my seat. Quick. Dress me up. Jenny rolled her eyes. Why are you so nervous? With your face. Isn't it easy to win him over? I was too lazy to pay attention to her and urgently took out a mask. Not everyone in this world judges by appearance. People like the master here were into sapiosexuality. If I were a fool, he would definitely block me directly. During the time I spent with the master, I could clearly sense that he hates idiots. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been especially kind to me after learning that I am a student of a university. Right? Then at 11 tomorrow morning, I'll wait for you at the west gate of our school. The only class on the next day is advanced mathematics at 8 in the morning. The huge lecture theater is packed full, all with girls who have come here because of his reputation. Jenny and I stood at the back door and sighed. Our Evan's popularity is really terrifying. I wonder what kind of girl can catch his eye. I curled my lips. He's still single at his age. There must be something wrong with him. Jenny suddenly started blinking wildly at me. I asked strangely, "Is there something wrong with your eyes?" Jenny looked at me with despair and then behind me. "Hello. Evan." "Me." A man's deep voice rang out. "Thanks for your concern. Classmate. I'm in good health." "Ah, kill me." I turned around, smiling uglier than crying. "Evan. By the way, help me deliver some materials to the administrative building later." 2 hours later, holding a large stack of heavy documents, I was full of resentment. Leaving aside other things, this Evan is really good at ordering people around? Unexpectedly, the teacher in the administrative building was not there, so I could only continue to wait. Seeing that the appointed time with the master was approaching, I could only apologize frantically. "Sorry, master. Our teacher assigned me a task temporarily. I might not be able to entertain you today." "Master, will it take a long time?" "Yes." I typed quickly. This teacher is really abnormal. "But don't worry, master. I'll make it up to you doubly another day. I will definitely treat you to this meal. I'll even peel the shrimps for you." Footsteps came, and I subconsciously looked back and saw a tall and slender figure approaching. He was looking down at his phone, not knowing who he was chatting with. His eyebrows were slightly raised, and a very faint smile flashed across the corner of his lips. I was stunned for a moment. I have to say, this man is somewhat good-looking. But, no matter how handsome a face is, it can't change the fact that he has delayed my date with the master. Evan looked up and saw me, seemingly also a little surprised. "Why are you still here?" "The teacher Shu is not here," I said. He nodded. "Give me the things. I'll look for him." "So actually you have time? Then why did you make me wait here for so long in vain?" Thinking he had something important to do. But in the end, it's just this? Back in the dormitory, I knocked my head on the table. I stood up my master for him. You prove that you two don't have fate." Jenny shook her head. "Besides," looking at Evan's face, "you didn't lose out, did you?" A vaguely smiling, refined face flashed through my mind. I quickly shook my head and got rid of the image. "Crazy. I truly love my master. Don't mess with my determination." "What true love?" Stella just pushed the door in and asked seemingly casually. "These days, some people have seen her and Louis coming and going together. I wonder if they are together." "Nothing." I don't want to say more to her and turned to turn on the computer. Unexpectedly, she took the initiative to smile and said, "By the way, it's my birthday this Saturday. Let's all go out and play together?" To be honest, I really admire her. After arguing like that last time, she can still pretend as if nothing happened. "Luna, your boyfriend should have time this time, right? Why not invite him to come and have some fun?" Stella deliberately looked at me with a smile. "After all, we are roommates. If there are any misunderstandings, we can just talk it out. What do you think?" So this is still her intention. But since she has put on such an attitude, I can't be cowardly. I'll ask him. "Master, my roommate's birthday is this Saturday. Would you like to come?" However, this time the master didn't reply directly. Instead, he asked another question. "Is it the roommate who quarreled with you last time?" I have to say, nothing can be hidden from him. Yes. There was no reply from him for a long time. The waiting time was extremely long, and my uneasy heart gradually became disappointed. Last time he pretended to be my boyfriend by voice. It was probably just a moment of kindness. If he really comes this time, doesn't it mean that he has to act with me in front of everyone again? He should not be willing, right? However, just when I thought he would refuse, a message popped up. I'm a bit busy that day. I'll try my best. In the blink of an eye, it was Saturday. Stella sent the location of the dinner party in the group. Oh my! This restaurant is so expensive. TNCC looked envious. Stella, your parents are so good to you. No. Stella blushed and smiled. This restaurant was booked by Louis this time. Originally. I also said that we could just get together casually and didn't need to be so extravagant. But he said that birthdays must be spent happily. So I just went along with him. Oh. No wonder she insisted on inviting me over. So it's to show off. But I don't care. Originally. I'm not familiar with Louis. What they want to do has nothing to do with me. However. Oh. Men only when they are willing to spend money on you is it true love. Those who just say it are just playing around. Of course. I could tell that this was aimed at me. But I was too lazy to care. Because at this moment, all my thoughts are on the master. Will he come today? Stella asked jokingly. By the way, Luna, where's your boyfriend? Could it be that he is also very busy today and can't come? I was choked up. The master hasn't replied to my message since afternoon. I don't know if. Suddenly, Jenny exclaimed in surprise behind me. Evan? My heart gave a violent jump. I turned around and saw a tall and straight man walking slowly towards us. 6'7". Why are you in such a hurry? Several men in suits followed and appeared from the corner. One of the elegant middle-aged men teased with a smile. When we were in the meeting just now, I could see that you were absent-minded. What's the matter? Are you in a hurry to see your girlfriend? Evan turned his head. Those long and narrow, cool eyes became even deeper and unfathomable. Another man laughed heartily. Lao Zhang. Don't talk nonsense. My student has been devoted to academics all these years and is still single. It turned out to be several school leaders. Evan is the proud student of our school principal. It's probably a dinner for big shots. Jenny asked in a low voice. Should we go over and say hello? After all, you are his class representative, right? No one expected to run into these teachers and school leaders outside the school. No need. Right? Stella interrupted Jenny's words. People at their level. How could they remember which student? Let's go quickly. Louis and the others are already waiting for us in the private room. I looked back again and saw Evan slightly bowing his head and talking to several school leaders. It seemed that he didn't notice us at all. Yes. People like Evan usually don't even notice ordinary people. Let's go. The private room had been decorated in advance, and the atmosphere of the birthday party was particularly strong. Wow! This is so thoughtful. Tianxici exaggerated covered her mouth and looked at Stella with envy all over her face. Stella tucked her stray hair behind her ear. Her cheeks flushed. And gently pulled Louis. I said there's no need to be so troublesome when Louis saw me. His gaze paused for a moment. And then he quickly smiled at Stella. As long as you like it. Everyone made a commotion. The two held hands and sat together. Just like a loving couple. As 3-layer cake was pushed in, Louis personally put a birthday hat on Stella. Looking deeply affectionate. Make a wish? Stella put her hands together and blew out the candles amid the cheers of everyone. Then, she handed me the first piece of cake. Luna, we had some misunderstandings before. I'm very sorry. From today on, we are still good friends. Okay? I got goosebumps all over. But under the gaze of everyone, I still took the cake. Okay. Louis seemed to ask politely while staring at me. By the way, is your boyfriend coming today? Should we save a piece of cake for him? As soon as these words came out, and the entire private room was extremely silent, Stella's expression instantly became ugly. Everyone knew that Lewis had confessed to me in public before and was rejected by me on the grounds that I had a boyfriend. Now that he asked this again, how bad would it look on the face of her official girlfriend? But her expression quickly recovered. She held Lewis's arm and said with a half smile, "Yes, Luna. It's so lively today. Call him over. We've been talking about it for so long. But none of us have seen the true face of your boyfriend." She was really unhappy with Lewis. And she really wanted to make me look bad in public. Tian Sassy added fuel to the fire. "That's right. With so many of us waiting for him. Can't he give us this bit of face?" Everyone looked over. I frowned. The great God just happened to send a message. There's something going on. I'll be late. Suddenly, there was an indescribable blockage in my chest. It's like this again and again. Is he just playing with me? I'll make a call and ask. Saying that, I stood up and walked outside. When I came to the corridor and looked at the chat page with the great God, I gritted my teeth and finally made a voice call. Actually, I've wanted to do this for a long time. But I've never had the courage. Today, when I was really angry, I didn't care about anything. Beep. My heart was pounding and my palms were numb. Anyway, today I must get an explanation. Just at this moment, footsteps suddenly sounded in my ear. I subconsciously turned my head and saw that in the private room at the end of the corridor, Evan was pushing the door and coming out. He was looking at his phone. Suddenly, he sensed something and looked up. Our eyes met. It was impossible to pretend not to see. I managed to say hello, Professor. Before I could finish speaking, my vision blurred and my body involuntarily fell forward. It's over. Before losing consciousness, my waist tightened. I seemed to fall into a broad and strong embrace. 7 When I woke up, it was pitch black outside. I was stunned for a while before realizing that I was lying on a hospital bed. Luna. Jenny rushed over with red eyes. You're finally awake. Woo-woo. You scared me to death. I opened my mouth with difficulty. You're pressing on my infusion tube. Ugh. Jenny jumped up abruptly. At a loss. I'm sorry. I'm so excited that I didn't notice. I had a splitting headache and really couldn't remember what had happened in the middle. Fortunately, Jenny explained in time. You fainted due to an allergy. Oh my God. Luna. You are allergic to kiwis. Why haven't you mentioned it before? There are kiwis in that cake. Me. Who can I reason with? I'm fine. This is still fine? If Evan hadn't found you in time and brought you to the hospital, who knows what would have happened to you? 3 question marks slowly appeared above my head. Who? Evan? He carried me? No way. Can he be so kind? I found it a bit hard to believe. Jenny nodded wildly. Of course. You can't be prejudiced against Evan. You don't know how ugly his expression was at that time. Stella and the others were so scared that they didn't dare to say a word. I calmed down. Where's my phone? Has anyone sent me a message? Jenny handed me my phone and said angrily. Still talking. Such a big thing happened to you. And your great God didn't even send a word of concern. I clicked on my phone and saw the message he sent half an hour ago. Sorry. I have something urgent to deal with and can't go today. I pursed my lips. And a strange sense of sadness welled up in my heart. So, he actually didn't want to come from the beginning, right? From start to finish. It was just my wishful thinking. Jenny was still cursing. If he had even a little bit of affection for you, he couldn't have put you in such an embarrassing situation, right? What kind of person? Jenny. I want some water. I interrupted her. Jenny quickly said, Okay. Then I'll go get you some hot water. I'll be back soon. She rushed out. I was in a daze by myself for a while, when I heard the ward door being pushed open again. Why are you back so soon? I turned around. What came into view was a cold and noble face. Evan. I reflexively stood up. Immediately, my head spun and I staggered backward. A hand supported me in time. A warm touch came. Vaguely. I could still smell the faint smell of woody perfume and alcohol on the man. Be careful, he said. For some reason, I suddenly remembered what Jenny had said before. If it weren't for Evan noticing in time and taking you to the hospital. Stop. I hurriedly took a step back. However, my mind uncontrollably recalled that when I finally fainted, it seemed that I didn't fall to the ground. Instead, I was pulled into a warm embrace. I became more and more guilty and didn't even dare to look directly into his eyes. Thank you. Evan. Evan's phone rang. He walked aside a few steps and answered it. It's nothing. Just that one of my students is not feeling well. I took her to the hospital, he explained in a low voice to the person on the other end of the phone. After listening for a while, I understood that he had given up that dinner for taking me to the hospital. After hanging up the phone, he looked back at me. Suddenly, his brows furrowed slightly. Why is your face so pale? Are you still very uncomfortable? I was stunned for a moment, and suddenly felt a twinge in my nose. Even such an outsider would ask with concern. But the person I like so much doesn't even want to see me. It's nothing. I sniffed and gave him an indifferent smile. I just got dumped. At heaven? Jenny just came back with hot water. She quickly called out. Evan responded with an I've helped you with the hospitalization procedures. Stay here overnight for observation today. I didn't want to go back to the dormitory either. After thanking him, I lay down again. Jenny was extremely reliable at critical moments. She planned to stay here and watch over me. I shook my head. No need. There are doctors and nurses here. I didn't want to trouble her. If there's nothing wrong tomorrow, I'll go back. Jenny firmly sat on the chair. MPH. Anyway, I have to watch over you. I'm not like your unreliable master. He doesn't even ask about you when you're sick. Evan, who was about to walk out of the ward, suddenly stopped and looked back. His expression seemed hesitant. I asked strangely, Evan, what's wrong? Evan hesitated to speak. You. Jenny's phone rang. It was Stella calling. Jenny directly hung up and rolled her eyes. Now she knows she's panicking. What was she doing before? If it weren't for the fact that she was so scared that her face turned pale at that time, I would have thought she did it on purpose to harm you. She didn't have the guts to do that. It's just that when she invited me today, she really had ulterior motives. I can't pretend nothing happened. Seeing that Evan hadn't left yet, I asked again. Do you have anything else? Evan seemed to come to his senses instantly. He gave me a complicated look and shook his head. Have a good rest. After saying that, he turned and left. I leaned against the head of the bed. While Jenny was pouring water for me, she clicked her tongue. You don't know how wonderful the scene was at that time. Stella blurted out that the cake was ordered by Louis and had nothing to do with her. Louis' face turned green immediately. I shook my head. They were showing off their love nicely. I interrupted them. Serves them right. Who told them to be so showy? What love or not? They are not reliable at all at critical moments. Stop scolding. Didn't I also lose my head over the master before? Before something happens. Who knows if they are good people or bad people? I took out my phone and was about to block the other person. But unexpectedly, I received a message he had just sent. Where are you now? My anger flared up immediately. Now you know to ask. It's too late. For the first time, I didn't reply to his message. Instead, I opened the game and handed it to Jenny. Jenny, what's the meaning? I can't play while receiving an IV infusion. You go. Play a lot. Let some people know that he is not important at all. Even if he stands me up 100 times, it won't stop me from being happy. Jenny's expression was complicated. But with my level, it seems hard to make you happy. What kind of inappropriate words are these? No matter. Just play. Then Jenny started playing the game for me and making a fool of herself. What's going on? Sister who drinks coconut water and lifts weights. My teammate couldn't bear to look. How come after a few days of not playing, your level has returned to what it was before? It's really a waste of our God's efforts for so long. I turned on the voice and was very arrogant. Can't I return what he taught me to him? Isn't it okay? 9 After a short silence. Several little friends finally smelled something fishy. Damn? What does this mean? Are you going to draw a clear line with your master? Are you willing? You too. I gritted my teeth. I'm sick and not feeling well. I don't like him. From now on, he goes his way and I go mine. Seeing that I was serious, several little friends were silent. In the dead silence, I don't know who murmured, WTF, is a woman who is broken-hearted so terrible? What broken-hearted? I sneered. I dare not. We haven't even met. We are just ordinary friends. They stopped playing the game. Before they knew it, they were completely defeated by the enemy. Total defeat. I was so angry that I lay back. But suddenly, I heard a familiar cold and clear voice. Who may die unhappy? I sat up in shock from a serious illness. Jenny waved her hands innocently. It turned out that she had started another game casually. Then, that jerk came too. No one. I was cold and indifferent. The other few friends didn't dare to speak. The master seemed to sense something. Not feeling well? Isn't it too late to care now? I was impatient. No. I'm lively. I just suddenly feel it's quite meaningless. I'm logging off. There are so many powerful people in the game. At worst, I can find another strong player to rely on. But just as I was about to log off, the nurse came in. Hey, the infusion for bed 2 is almost finished. Let me change your medicine. A little friend dared to turn on the mic. Little sister, are you really sick? Yes. So I won't play this game anymore. See you all in the future. I simply logged out of the game and watched the nurse change my infusion bottle. Beside me, Jenny, who had been silent for a long time, suddenly said, Luna, don't you think your master's voice sounds a bit familiar? She hesitated and looked at me. Why do I think it sounds the same as Evan's tone? 10 You're stupid? Can this be the same person? I waved my hand. It's just that the voices are a bit similar. But in fact, their personalities are very different. Luna was relieved. I also think so. Your master is mysterious and hides things from you. How can he be as good as our Evan? He left only after confirming with the doctor that you were not in danger. I sighed. Life is so unpredictable. Whose youth hasn't liked this comeback? The next day, I was discharged from the hospital smoothly. I planned to find an opportunity to formally go and thank Evan. After all, he can be considered to have saved half of my life. It just so happens that Evan has a lecture in the auditorium today. Why don't you go directly to find him? Jenny suggested. I think it's feasible. However, when I arrived at the auditorium, I realized that I was too naive. Because there were so many people who came to listen to the lecture. Looking at the long line outside, I backed out. Forget it. I'll go another day. Jenny helplessly spread out her hands. I told you earlier that you should have taken the initiative to ask Evan for his WeChat. Now it's good. It's so difficult to even say thank you. I was afraid it would be too abrupt. I would never admit that I tried to avoid contacting him as much as possible just to do less work. Just then, my phone suddenly vibrated. It was actually a message from the master again. I am at the auditorium of a university today. I was so shocked that I almost dropped my phone. I hurriedly looked around. What's the situation? That jerk is also here. It's really like seeing a ghost. When I was so attentive to him before, it was difficult to even meet him. Now that I'm planning to give up, he takes the initiative to find me. Let's go. Hurry up and go. I pulled Jenny and quickly left. But when I turned around, I was called. Luna? Ah? I responded subconsciously. When I turned around, I found that it was Lewis who called me. I secretly breathed a sigh of relief and was a bit impatient. What's the matter? Lewis looked apologetic. I'm really sorry. I didn't expect such a thing to happen yesterday. Actually, I didn't care about his apology at all. Moreover, now I was worried about bumping into a certain jerk. So I just said perfunctorily, "It's nothing. It's not your fault." As I was about to leave. But Lewis followed me. He looked at me with burning eyes. Luna. Actually, I don't like Stella at all. Being with her is just to make you jealous. But I really didn't expect an accident to happen. Will you forgive me this time? His voice was loud. People in several circles around heard it and looked over excitedly. I was completely numb. No, what does your relationship with Stella have to do with me? Deliberately make me jealous? I almost laughed. Lewis. There should be a limit to joking. Right? Lewis had an expression as if he had seen through everything. In fact, you don't have a boyfriend, right? Otherwise, why didn't he show up even when you were sick and hospitalized? Lewis seemed confident of victory. In the corner of my eye, Stella didn't know when she came, standing behind the crowd. Her face was green, looking at me with resentment in her eyes, as if I had done something extremely heinous. My expression turned cold. Whether I have a boyfriend or not has nothing to do with you. I'm already so annoyed. Can you stop bothering me? As I was about to leave, I found that there were already too many people behind me. I couldn't get out at all. Excuse me. Make way. I struggled to walk out, but was squeezed in the middle of the crowd and couldn't move. At this moment, there was a commotion suddenly coming from the right rear, and there were faintly girls' screams. So handsome. Ah! My God! If our professor looked like this. I can't imagine how much I would love learning if he were like this. Damn. It seems like he is coming towards us. Evan? The crowd was crowded. I heard Jenny nervously calling my name. But I couldn't take care of it anymore. The moment I was pushed to the ground, a thought flashed through my mind. Wouldn't I die here today because of Evan? Suddenly, the crowd seemed to disperse backward. A warm and powerful hand supported my shoulder, isolating those terrifying torrents. I turned around and bumped into a pair of deep and cold eyes. 11 Luna. Jenny hurriedly rushed over. Are you okay? I stood up with the help of Evan. Don't worry. I'm fine. Evan. Thank you. If it weren't for him, the consequences would be unimaginable. Evan frowned and glanced coldly at Lewis. In this occasion with so many people, it's a bit too careless. Lewis immediately lowered his head guiltily. If it weren't for his constant pestering, I wouldn't have had such an accident. Jenny was also angry. That's right. Luna was hospitalized because of your negligence yesterday. She just returned to school this morning after being discharged. If something really happened, could Lewis take responsibility for this? Evan's hands suddenly tightened. Only then did I realize that he was still holding my arm. I didn't know what he was thinking while lost in thought. His strength was a bit out of control. Evan? I gently struggled. Evan's gaze focused and fell on my face again. I don't know if it's an illusion, but there seems to be a flash of astonishment and panic in his eyes. Panic? A person like him would be so nervous about something? Oh, right. If there is an accident, he will also be implicated. I smiled at him. Evan. I'm really fine. The lecture is about to start. You go in first? Evan suddenly withdrew his hand as if burned. His thin lips were tightly pursed, and he seemed to want to say something but stopped. With the urging of staff again, he finally turned and left. But just after taking a step, he looked back and said, You all come together. There are fewer people and it's safer to go this way. Me. Following them all the way in. From time to time people looked at me. Evan is so kind to students. Yes. If I had been the one who was pushed down just now, that would be great. Evan had such a strong aura at that time. So handsome. Alas. I felt extremely uncomfortable, and could only pretend not to hear anything and look at the man on the podium. Evan has changed into a black shirt today. His sleeves are rolled up to his forearms, with clear muscles and smooth lines. I couldn't help but think of the moment when I was pulled up by this hand again. It seemed that all dangers would be blocked by him, making people feel at ease. I let out a breath gently. Recently, things haven't been going well. After a while, I'd better go and see if my illness is completely cured. Otherwise, why is my heart beating so fast? Looking at my phone again, the great master didn't send any messages. Is he bluffing? Thinking like this, I finally blacklisted him. On the stage, the man's deep and pleasant voice came from the microphone. Welcome everyone. Everyone quieted down immediately and couldn't help being attracted by him. I also looked over and happened to look into his eyes. His eyes were fixed. Word by word. I am Evan, 12. I have to say that a serious man really has a special charm. Not to mention with such a figure, and good looks. It's simply overwhelming. The auditorium was fully packed. And there were many people standing and listening. Many girls' eyes seemed to be glued to him, filled with pink bubbles. Finally, it was the free question session. A girl seized the opportunity and boldly asked, Evan, are you single now? The whole place was quiet, and everyone was waiting expectantly for his answer. Evan pondered for a moment and nodded. Yes. The girl couldn't help but ask further. Then if one wants to chase you, what conditions need to be met? This is simply a blatant confession. The staff came out to smooth things over. This classmate, the question you just asked is the last one. Evan raised his hand. I can answer this additional question. Full of curiosity and enthusiasm. Under no conditions. He paused, his voice like cold jade. Because I already have a girl I like. I don't know if I was mistaken, but Evan seemed to glance over here. I'm still chasing her. Oh my God. Who on earth is so lucky to be publicly confessed by Evan? Such a high mountain flower. Jenny tightly held my hand. Her face flushed with excitement. I was packing my bag while walking out with the crowd. Who knows? But before I could reach the door, I was stopped by the staff. Luna? Evan said that please wait for a while first. He will come as soon as he is done. He has something to find you. Looking for me? There is no class of his today. It shouldn't be to assign homework, right? I murmured. Jenny pulled me to wait together. You'll know later. Evan has helped me several times. If he has any instructions, of course it's okay. Louis seemed to want to come over but was also a bit afraid. Looking conflicted. I pretended not to see him, and looked down at my phone. Unexpectedly. Even if I don't look for trouble, trouble comes to me on its own. Luna, are you happy now? Stella asked in a low voice with an unhappy expression. At this time, most of the people in the auditorium had left, and few people noticed this corner. I looked up. I don't understand what you are saying. She sneered. You were pretending yesterday, right? You broke me and Louis up so easily. Are you proud now? I frowned. Jenny couldn't help but scold. Stella, if you are sick, go and see a doctor. Don't act crazy here. Some people looked over, their eyes full of curiosity. Stella raised her eyebrows. What? I hit the mark? You are so angry? It's really impossible to communicate with this kind of person. She can't understand people. I turned to leave, but Stella directly blocked in front of me. Luna, are you shameless? I looked at her coldly. Stella, are you endless? Stella looked me up and down, with contempt in her eyes. What boyfriend? What allergy? Are they all fake? Luna, aren't you tired of pretending? The man's cold voice suddenly sounded, forcefully interrupting Stella. Who said those are all fake? Phoo. Evan? Stella didn't expect Evan to appear suddenly. She was panicked for a moment and then forced a smile and pretended to be calm. You heard wrong. I was just talking to Luna for a while. If you don't believe that she is allergic, you can go to the hospital and ask in person. Evan seemed to have no patience for her at all. Stella bit her lip. Her voice was much lower but still unconvinced. You don't know. There is a little misunderstanding between her and my boyfriend. So Really? Evan put one hand in his pocket. His complexion was cold and his eyes were indifferent. I didn't know. When did my girlfriend have anything to do with your boyfriend? 13 dead silence. At this moment, I almost thought I was hallucinating. Could it be that I'm still not well? Otherwise, how could I hear such absurd words? However, in my peripheral vision, everyone else present was also shocked. Stella couldn't hold it back anymore. What? Her voice was trembling. But Evan didn't answer her. Instead, he took long strides and came step by step, finally stopping by my side. I could even smell the faint woody perfume on the man. He slightly lowered his head to look at me. His voice was low and slow, as if helpless, yet with a hint of imperceptible compromise and indulgence. Didn't I tell you to wait for me in the auditorium? Why did you even block me? I opened my mouth but couldn't say a word. In the moment our eyes met, a flash of white light suddenly flashed through my mind. Gee, great master. Evan looked at Stella again. Let me introduce myself. I am that is, Evan, Luna's boyfriend. I can't remember what happened later. When I came to my senses, the people around had disappeared, leaving only me and Evan. He was the first to break the silence. I was wrong for standing you up last time. I'm sorry. I slowly raised my head, and countless images flashed through my mind. So, last time, he actually was taking me to the hospital and then stood me up? Who wouldn't say this is absurd? It's okay. You were also delayed by something, right? I really want to slap myself. What nonsense am I saying? However, Evan seemed to be very pleased. He nodded in agreement. Indeed, matters concerning my girlfriend are all important matters. I wanted to refute but found that I couldn't say a single word in rebuttal. I could only change the topic. So, when did you actually know about me? Yesterday. Evan paused. Or rather, today. No wonder. In that case, it really can't be blamed on him? But I still felt inexplicably frustrated. Who's your girlfriend? I already said that I'm Lovelern. Evan, aren't we more than just ordinary friends? Oh no. I'm no match for this jerk. I turned to leave but was held back by him. Still angry? I stiffened my neck and refused to turn back. Otherwise? I lost all face today. What would others think? What would the chickens, ducks, fish, and geese in the school think? What would the bad teammates in the game think? Evan was silent for a long time. Just when I was thinking if I had made a big deal out of it, he suddenly chuckled. So, I have 30,000 days. Don't you want to spend even one day with me? 14. Then you just agreed to him like this. Jenny screamed on the spot. So exciting. I saw you blushing like crazy outside. I knew this man is no ordinary person. What a powerful move. My face started to burn again. I've suffered a lot because of him. What's wrong with him compensating me? Jenny put her hands on her cheeks. You don't know how ugly Stella's face was at that time. She actually caused trouble to Evan's girlfriend. She will have to be on her best behavior at school from now on. I didn't even see her. After I returned to the dormitory, Stella's things were all gone. I heard that she quickly moved to another dormitory without even saying goodbye. I clicked on the game, and my friends swarmed in. Damn. Sis. Did God F really win you back? It's over. God F has fallen into the hands of the sister who loves coconut water and lifts weights. I'm afraid he will be played badly. How could I be so fierce? I typed quickly. I'm a very gentle person. Okay. Everyone joined in the excitement. Almost at the same time, Evan also logged in. What would you like to eat tonight? Out of nowhere, his deep and gentle voice fell by my ear. Half of my heart melted. My mind was fuzzy. Huh? Evan, come downstairs. I opened my eyes wide and instinctively ran to the window. I saw Evan standing downstairs. His clothes were draped over his arm. His posture was lazy and noble. The corners of his mouth curved up. His voice came from downstairs and through the earphones at the same time. Date? Girlfriend? I pressed my wildly beating heart. The corners of my mouth couldn't help but rise. Okay. Boyfriend. If I had known it was you earlier. Not a single minute should be wasted. Seeing you is like being in a passionate love. The end.